And hello everybody. Welcome to the first ever Kingdom Hearts Relived Reflection. Yeah. So let's just pop on over so you can see my wonderful face. Hi everybody. We got some fun news. I ended up getting COVID as of last Friday, so I've been quarantining. It's been fun. It's been great. And we'll continue to do so, at least for my job, until next week. So that's fun. Anyways, yeah, without further ado, so this is going to be a little weird and unorthodox of how I originally wanted to do things, but we're gonna do this on the fly, and we don't know how this is gonna go, but we're gonna roll with it. Ain't that right, Blue Fox?
Yes.
Yes, welcome everybody, everyone's favorite resident and denizen, Mr. Blue Fox 24.
I'm a cave dweller.
He is a cave dweller. Can confirm. Anyways, I'm leaving the door slightly open. So actually, yeah. So right now we're actually in my room, in a very nice little area, in the corner where I have a nice little spinny red chair down here. Although it can't really spin right now because I have a little table in front of me, and I got my rolly table that I usually have over at the stream corner, or I should say the stream turret. I also have my Switch here, but we're not going to be using that today. Who knows? Anyways, so the way I wanted to start this off was actually not that first. First, let's talk about the overall experience of replaying it all over again. I'll be honest, it felt good. It felt really good. There were definitely some times when did we start this? Like the end of October? Yeah. There were definitely some times, I think, throughout November and December where I was definitely struggling with some things at work, and I think honestly just coming back to this to like actually be excited about like streaming this, forget even streaming it, just the fact that I got to play it again for my sake was yes it was for content, but it wasn't in the sense, it was more for personal content for me. And it was really, it felt good to start back at those roots. And, there were several times where, over the course of the game where, I think it was like within at least like first 2 or 3 episodes, might have been the first one, probably was. I know that we like talked about like how we both came to know about the series itself, where and when, yeah, and I for instance, yeah, so I was in like, oh god. First one came out 2001. Which means I would have been in like, god, what grade would I have been in? Ugh, god, I have to like think now. So 93. So I would have been 13 in 2003, so I was 11. I was 11 at the time in 2001. So
Hey, you were 11 in 2001?
yeah. Or I would have been, I probably would have, no,
You would have been like 10 maybe. No, hold on. Wait, now you got me confused. How old are you?
I'm 28.
28.
Yeah.
No, you would have been like 2001.
Yeah, in 2001. Oh wait, no, I would have been 10. No, I'm an idiot.
You would have been. Yeah. Wait, now, hold on.
No.
Wait, now you got me through.
No, because 2003 would have been 10 years old. So I was 8. I was 8 when the first one came out.
Okay.
Now we're on the right track.
But it came out in 2002.
It did? First one came out in 2002?
Yeah, FF10 came out in 2001.
Oh. See, we're learning things every single day, folks. Anyways, I feel like such an idiot. It's okay. Hey, we said the stream was going to be unorthodox, so get ready for a roller coaster, folks. Anyways, so game came out 2002. I was 9. I don't think I had actually heard about the game probably until like maybe 2005. Because 2006 is when 2 came out, if I'm correct, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, in the West.
At least in the West. So, because I remember at that point, I don't think 2 had come out yet. And I was waiting for 2 to come out. Or 2 had just come out. I can't remember. But what I do remember is I was over at a friend's house, and he was telling me about this. He's like, "Oh, this is a really cool game. I started playing when I was a couple years back. It's called Kingdom Hearts." And I was like, "Huh." I was like, I'd never been subjected to Final Fantasy at all in my childhood, or knew what it was. But of course, I'd grown up with Disney my entire life, and as a kid of the '90s, albeit a very early kid of the '90s, so I didn't get the full anthropic experience of being a '90s kid. But that's okay. I did get some good stuff out of it for sure. Regardless of that, immediately, I sat down, started playing it with my friend. I'm like, wow, this is weird. This is kind of crazy and cool. Like, who's this boy? All that fun jiggity stuff. I don't think I actually started getting really excited about the story. I feel like until I think it might have been after I had played 2. And you and I had gone on our trip to Theater Fest, junior year.
Right.
And I ended up finding out that Birth by Sleep was a thing, and I'm like, wait, there's another one? What? I was like, I didn't even know. And and that like freaking just threw me for an entire loop.
Of course, there's another one.
Had
Another one.
There was always another one, yeah. And that's what was so crazy about it, is that I had no idea that another one had been made. For a very long extended period of time, which is so crazy to think about. But again, I wasn't on my radar, and I wasn't thinking about those things constantly, or, checking on and using the internet. I mean, again, the internet was a very newfangled thing by the time we were teenagers, and it was still like trying to figure out what it was. It's definitely changed though, that's for sure. But regardless of that, I don't think I had actually started getting really excited about the series till I had ended up playing through the rest of Birth by Sleep and everything. I'm like, wow, no, this franchise is really cool. This story is awesome, at least what I thought at the time, with very, very unseen and what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say jaded, but I feel like that's like the closest word I can think of.
I feel like that's my fault.
Yeah, well, definitely your fault on your end. But, I mean, regardless of all of that, I think, and we're kind of losing from where the topic started, but that's okay. Going back and now, like, playing this first game all over again for essentially, the first time since I got my PS4 and played through the series until 3 came out. Yeah, it was good. It was heartfelt, and we definitely now have some really, really fun stuff that we're going to be keeping now for the rest of the time, for all time, because apparently Geppetto has a kink. And that is never going to be going away anytime soon. So, yeah, I know. I mean, hey, you started it.
Yeah, I didn't realize what I had started. I just said something off the cuff.
Yeah, you see, I mean, that's what this man is so good at doing. He's so good at like just like situational like comedy that it's just like it's creativity just sparks completely out of his asshole, and beautiful things end up happening. So usually, sometimes those
Beautiful and
things,
terrifying.
yes, beautiful and terrifying as well. But yeah, I think replaying the game has been really fun. There were definitely times of struggle and, learning. I'm like, wow, this game has so many shortcomings, yet was so revolutionary for its time in terms of what it was doing in terms of, franchisement. And, back then I would say like in early 2000s, that was a very weird thing to try and do, of like, I would say, it was very niche. It was very niche at the time. But I think it has definitely grown into something, something very, very prolific and something worthy to be called like a franchise. It really has. I mean, and God, we're 2 days away, and it's next year is going to be the 20th anniversary, and that's, that's crazy. It's so crazy to think about that's a thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, any thoughts on that? Any thoughts on that from your end, my dude?
Have any thoughts? I mean, I concur
Yeah.
with everything that was said. I think it's just interesting to like, look back on it now. Like you were saying, with it being a niche thing. I think in a lot of ways it actually is still niche. It was if anyone is familiar with the YouTube channel Final Fantasy Union, the two lovely people who run that channel, Derek and Lauren. I believe it was, I don't remember now. It was a Facebook group. It was either Final Fantasy Peasants Facebook group or Night Sky Princess Ultimate group. I can't remember what, but regardless, it was around the release of KH3. Like kind of right before it came out. And I saw Lauren from Final Fantasy Union posting on someone's comment thread in that Facebook group that Kingdom Hearts was niche masquerading as mainstream. I thought that was like,
I like
that was like
actually.
the perfect way to describe it, because it's just funny to think, like, there was all through 2018, KH3 probably more than any other game, at least in terms of marketing and whatnot, was the game you probably saw the most. I mean, it
absolutely,
won, like, awards at E3 for like I think Best in Show and other stuff. And of course, the sad part is a lot of that was due to hype.
Yeah.
And a lot of it on the part of the diehard fans, some of it on the part of people who were new to the franchise, riding on other people's hype. And I think what came with that is, I mean, we're going to get into this more once we actually get to KH3, but
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Came with a lot of very wide variety of different reactions to the game. Not all of them positive.
No, yeah, I can definitely agree with that for certain. I mean, yeah, I mean, no two person is gonna have the same experience with one game. I mean, it's that's just a thing,
And it as a matter of not everyone knew like what to expect, or I'm not sure they knew what they were expecting or even wanting out of it, and
or in other terms, what they were over expecting.
Right.
Yeah.
But despite all that, it is, again, it's like what you said. It is, it's relatively niche because it's a JRPG, and so all JRPGs kind of are niche. But it's still very true that it grew to be something just like really unexpected. Grew into this iconic, successful thing.
Yeah.
And Sora being in Smash is proof of that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah. I mean, when it is so funny, and I don't know. I like just watched. I don't know if you watched, and of course anybody else who might know. Chari5 actually just did a reaction, or no, sorry, he did not a reaction. That's what his version of reacting to stuff is. He did an entire everything wrong with pastiche of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And
that's interesting.
yeah, no, it was actually really, really cool. So basically what it broke down was everything, pretty much like the story, whatever the story is of, World of Light, which is pretty much nothing. Just like small cutscenes and everything. Just like certain mechanics about gameplay that would have happened every once in a while. And then eventually, I know he started talking about something else in terms of Sora, like that he usually does in most of his other pastiches. For Sora not Sora, Digisora, all this stuff. And then he's like at one point he had said he's like I don't even think I understand what the meaning of the word Sora means anymore. because he found out that the 13th Sora was actually Sakurai's company, Sora Limited, and make it a really funny joke besides that point of why Sora is now in Smash. So if you haven't, you should go back and rewatch all of his pastiches of everything wrong with Kingdom Hearts, because they're actually really, really wonderful and really well done. Definitely we were riding those hype trains for a long while. Especially we're very excited for when he was going to be doing 3. So especially after reviews, and I don't even think Remind had come out at that point, if I'm not mistaken.
When he did the first Everything Wrong with 3?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because he did a separate one for Remind.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he did. Has he done one for Melody and Memory?
I don't know. I haven't checked in a while.
Yeah, I haven't checked either, but I'll have to do that. I feel like he did. But anyways, regardless of that, I kind of actually I think this was a really good segue to actually kind of like continue this train of like where this game all started. Okay, YouTube, be quiet. I'm gonna close this.
Also, I'm gonna do something real quick, because I should have checked to make sure I'm audible. So I'm actually I need to unmute your stream.
That's fine.
Just gonna check that.
Yeah, you're definitely mute. I mean, you're making soup. Hello, Mackie. Welcome to KH1 Final Mix Reflection. Yeah, we're talking, we're doing things here, and we've only been talking for 20 minutes. Jesus, that does not feel like that. I felt like we were talking for at least like 30. Anyways.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Good enough.
Yeah, I can turn you up all the way, actually, mostly just because we don't have any game volume, or we will not have any game in the background.
That's an
so
issue we don't have to worry about.
Yeah, so I can balance you however I need to. Anyways, so like I was saying before, I really wanted to keep this train going. So let's look up Kingdom Hearts. Oh my God, Kingdom Hearts 1. Okay, that makes more sense. Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, was released on March 28th, 2002. 2002. So,
2002.
March 28th will officially be the 20th anniversary. That'll be very exciting.
That's when it released in the West. Or no, that's when it released
in Japan, which I will take as the original first day, because it makes sense.
Shouldn't that be Sora's birthday? Because didn't I hear someone say his birthday was in April, rather?
Oh,
whatever.
it doesn't matter.
That's his actual birthday then, March 28th.
Yeah.
It's funny because they only made that his actual birthday because they didn't. So for anyone who like had the manuals, I guess maybe I'll use this as a little bit of an excuse to kind of go into. I guess I've talked about it before. I guess I give a briefer version of like my history, the series or whatever. If anyone remembers back in the day having the actual discs, the actual physical copies of the games, this was back when games would come with manuals.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
So,
yeah. I still got mine, man. I still got mine.
I think mine is in the basement here somewhere. I have to like look through all that stuff. I kind of stopped thinking about it because all that shit got water damage because of a flood.
Yeah.
But if anyone remembers having those, so when they would release those for Final Fantasy games, like 7, 8, 9, and I guess the ones that came before too, 1, what we in the West knew as 1, 2, and 3, which was actually Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy 4, and Final Fantasy 6. They would have, the manuals would have like full descriptions for the characters for shit that didn't even matter. They would give like height, weight, age, blood type, birthday, all kinds of shit, right, for the Final Fantasy games.
Yeah.
We don't get that. We didn't get that with Kingdom Hearts. The Kingdom Hearts manual, it like said, it gave the ages. It said that Sora and Kairi were 14 and Riku was 15.
Yep.
That's basically it. It would give like the other information it had was stuff that you could read in Jiminy's journal anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
So they had to come up with Sora's birthday retroactively. They probably didn't even think of that shit until he was asked in the interview, to be honest.
Probably.
I guarantee you, a lot of those answers Nomura gives in like those Ultimania interviews.
Oh yeah.
He came up with that shit on the fly, just right then and there.
Definitely.
So he was probably like, "Oh yeah, the birth of the series, that's Sora's birthday, so March 28th." Okay, no, I'm gonna.
Oh shit, we got Arekazu in the chat. A gaming manual.
Stingray Kazu.
Yeah, Stingray Kazu. Yeah, no, gaming manuals were amazing. Definitely. What I might do actually, I could go and grab it right now, but I kind of feel just a little lazy right now, and also just because I'm quarantining, even though I actually feel quite good right now, because definitely the worst is over, at least in my case, I feel.
Can't have you spreading the Kuma.
Yeah, the Kuman! Anyways, so I actually wanted to read from the wiki page. Basically, I think what would be really cool, yeah. Dude, that's so funny. Genres: action, role-playing, hack and slash, rhythm action, because now that's the thing. But we didn't know that they could actually make it really a good rhythm action game.
Well, no, because none of us had played theater rhythm. I still haven't played theater rhythm.
No, yeah. Anyways, so, Stingray Kazu is amazing. Apparently, I think he really likes that, so we might be keeping that around. Alright, so we got the boys. Shinji, Hashimoto, and Tetsuya Nomura. Now, Shinji, I know, was more or less like the main idea of like wanting this to be a thing, and this is he was our boy that came through. So, it all started in an elevator.
Yeah, I don't know. So here's the thing: is like Sakaguchi wanted basically. I don't know how the order of events happens. I don't know if Shinji met with the Disney exec in the elevator first, and they said, "Hey, we should work on a game." And then if it was Nomura who was like, "Oh, I want to make a game that kind of has like the freedom of motion that like Super Mario 64 does," and then Sakaguchi was like, "But the only, if we can't collaborate with Nintendo, or if we want to compete with Nintendo, the only characters who would be on par with it would be like Disney characters." So I don't know what the order of events was. If that came, if the that discussion happened first and then Shinji happened to be in the elevator and threw it out there, or if it was the other way around. But either way.
Well, yeah, either way. So, yeah, I mean, those we have to thank Shinji and Tetsuya, like, both, because they're very adamant for their work and what they do, and they have definitely created something special and unique. And big thanks to Disney. I mean, because it's the other half. It wouldn't exist without it. So, thanks to those people and what they've done. Here are every single platform that the entire franchise has been on so far. PS2, which is where it all started. Game Boy Advanced, mobile phone, Nintendo DS, PlayStation Portable, Nintendo 3DS, PlayStation 3, web browser, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Android and iOS, Nintendo Switch, and now finally it's on PC, which is fucking nuts. Like, absolutely
anything other than PlayStation is nuts.
I mean, yeah, that too. I mean, because we always thought it was going to just be an exclusive, like, for all eternity. It's like, hey, this is going to be a constant PS4 only title, like. And then 3 decided to say, yeah, fuck that, we're going to put it on Xbox, but oh, by the way, you can't play the other series, you're going to have to play it in a different way. Which honestly just sucks for the people who got it for Xbox. I'm like, so you guys are not only going to buy 3 for the Xbox, even though you haven't played the entire series. They're like, yeah, why not? I'm just like, well, you're going to be lost as fuck. Anyways. I did want to actually, like, kind of get into, like, yeah. Yeah, so the first game, it seems, got a score of 36 out of 40 from Famitsu, which is very good, and Metacritic gave it an 85. So definitely stand out for its time. And I think what we will end up doing is going back and definitely looking back at these. And seeing, wow, interesting. That's so interesting. The highest that ever the series got, and I won't say what game it is. You'll probably know what it is, but it's an 87, and that's the highest that they've ever. Yeah. You already know which game it is. Most common sense people probably already know what game it is.
Yeah, most people probably can predict. Now, interestingly, that same score was given to Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Interesting.
And that is the highest score that a final... Not counting 14. Not counting 14, because 14, did other stuff. And received. But that is the highest score that a Final Fantasy game has had, I believe, since N?
Wow.
Which is just interesting.
That is very interesting. Yes, Mackie, but I'm not gonna acknowledge. But yes. Yeah, I want to see, so as of, I think this will actually be kind of like an interesting way to start things off. So as of March of 2014, the series has sold over 20 million copies worldwide. And that's just the series. And that's like the 3 main games. All met with positive sales times of their release. In the first 2 months since the North America release of Kingdom Hearts, it was one of the top 3 highest selling video games. That is,
I believe that.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I actually want to get like actual. I actually want to see like actual yeah, give me the titles. Actual KH. So there we go. That's better. Now we can get some actual interesting intrigue on this. Yeah. So, and I'm just gonna just read straight from the wiki. So this is like the actual reception from it, or you know, overall reception. Kingdom Hearts received critical acclaim from sales figures. No duh. During the first 2 months of its North America release, it was one of the top 3 highest-selling video games and among the top-selling titles during 2002 Christmas and holiday season. In November 2002, USB Warbug, whatever that is, listed it as the 6th highest console game in terms of sales during the week of November 5th. At the end of April 2003, Square Enix announced that Kingdom Hearts had sold its millionth copy in the United States, which made it eligible for PlayStation's greatest hit status, and over 3 million worldwide. Sales reached 1.2 million in Japan in the first quarter of 2004 and broke 4 million worldwide in December of 2005. The NPD group listed it as one of the top best-selling PlayStation 2 games of all time in North America. By July 2006, Kingdom Hearts had sold through 2.6 million copies and earned 100 million in the United States alone. Next Generation ranked it as the as the 7th highest selling game launched for the PlayStation 2, Xbox, or GameCube between January 2000 and July 2006 in the country. As of December 2006, Kingdom Hearts has been shipped over 5.6 million copies worldwide, with 1.1 million in PAL regions, which I have no idea what that is.
PAL regions?
Yeah, PAL regions.
That's Europe, basically.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. 1.5 million in Japan and 3 million in North America. As of 2006, the original game and the final mix version has sold 6 million copies on PS2. As of November 2021, the Kingdom Hearts series has shipped over 35 million copies worldwide. Just incredible. Yeah. So, yeah, Metacritic score was 85 out of 100. A lot of it's and then here are some other review scores from other publications. OneUp.com gave it an A-. Eurogamer gave it an 8 out of 10. Famitsu, 36 out of 40. Game Informer, 9.5 out of 10. Game Pro, 4.5 stars. GameStop, 8.2 out of 10. GameSpy, 4 stars. IGN, 9 out of 10. Entertainment Weekly, B+ rating.
Wow, IGN gave it a 9 out of 10. That's hysterical.
It is hysterical. It's so funny because that company has like shitted so hard on that series. Like it's so funny. Like that's what they, you know, it's like they started out that way and then like everything just got progressively worse from there with IGN, and they have never had a good relationship with that game since. Oh man. Wow. Now it'll be interesting to see as we go on further and we'll be reading all these stats, you know, that this is really interesting to, you know, kind of go over. And here are some basic awards that they ended up getting. So best crossover since Capcom versus SNK, from GameStop. G4 TV, best story. International Game Developers Association, excellence in visual arts. And then IGN gave it best arts and style/direction. Yeah. The game received critical acclaim among reviewers in IGN's Best of 2002 awards. It was nominated for PS2's Best Game of 2002 Editor's Choice Award, and was a runner-up of the PS2's Best Game of 2002 Reader's Choice Award. In 2007, the website listed Kingdom Hearts as the 22nd best PlayStation 2, as the best PlayStation 2 game of all time. Which obviously, yeah, that makes... I know, right? Isn't that 22nd?
I mean, I'm not even... I would even hesitate to go that far.
Yeah, because I think that there are definitely some other contenders that are definitely up there.
I wouldn't give that out so easily.
No.
I mean, even I wouldn't give it out so easily. The case, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, I still think it's definitely in the top 50.
I think it's higher than, as far as PS2 games.
Yeah.
I think it's higher than top 50.
Really?
Best PS2 games?
Yeah.
I think it's high. I think it's definitely. I'd say probably. Maybe there's a lot of PS2 games I haven't played, but I'd say at least top 30 or top 20.
All right, that's fair. Well, top 30. But you think that is too high for KH?
I think best PS2 game of all time. That's a high accolade because there's a lot of. PS2 was a great era. There were a lot of
PS2 was a wonderful era. PS2. It was a beautiful time to be a gamer. Lot of really good stuff came out in that timeline. Yeah, that's when. Yeah, it's funny, how because now I'm gonna make like a weird kind of like weird ass connection. So when I started, playing video games, I started with the Sega Dreamcast, and I started with Sonic Adventure and like NBA 2K1 and Pen and some other really weird ass shit that you probably haven't heard of, but there are some people out there who definitely know.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, if you know, you know. You know exactly what we're... Especially if I said Pen. Because, like, if y'all know what that is, then y'all make me about to lose my mind.
Sounds like a game that needs to be streamed now.
Oh, it's gonna be streamed because we can do it, but we have to have. We need to have it when there's like 2 players. That's the thing. You know what I need? What I need to do? Oh, Pen. Oh, you don't know what Pen is? Oh man, dude.
I don't know what Pen is either.
It is probably one of the wackiest fucking racing games you have ever seen.
I've played Looney Tunes racing. It's
not a traditional racing game. You're like these weird ass creatures, and these really, really wacky ass cartoons. I know Mackie's looking it up right now. But anyways, so kind of going from that era, Sonic was reinventing himself with the Dreamcast, and definitely did with, Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. And I actually just watched a retrospective on Sonic Adventure 2 that was like, this is like a bad game, but like it's gotten so much like nostalgia behind it. Like, why is that? And I think that we can definitely, go back and look at KH1 the same way. Because it definitely broke the mold, like, on a lot of things, but mechanically kind of, like, coming back to it and realizing that, oh, God, like, some of these controls, like, dear God, what were they thinking at the time? Like, they thought this was good, like, but at the time, at the time, it was revolutionary. And that's what's so interesting is to finally, like, go back and look at these old games, like, from a very, very set of, like, specific lenses, and really try and figure out, like, why they thought that this would be good, or why this would be a good choice, and all this interesting things, all these little all these little interconnecting pieces. Sorry, go ahead. I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, I was gonna say a lot of it is the context of what else was out at the time, because if you think about it, Kingdom Hearts 1 was one of the first 3D action games, period. One of the first really good 3D action games.
Yeah, period. No, that's fair.
The year before that, you had Devil May Cry. And Devil May Cry blew the doors off everything when it came to that genre.
Oh, absolutely.
You
Yeah.
know, because it was influenced by like beat 'em up games and all types of other arcade games that Kamiya was playing when he was, in his youth.
Mm-hmm.
But there was nothing that existed in that sort of style. And
Yeah.
obviously, to some degree, Kingdom Hearts was being developed at the same time as DMC. But like you can tell that like Nomura and their team, they weren't probably so directly influenced by the arcade game stuff. They were basically building on the Secret of Mana gameplay system.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's pretty fair.
With that in mind, again, listing that Devil May Cry came a year before, and Devil May Cry did not have true air combos. People debate it, but I don't think it's really debatable at this point. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll take the L later on, but I'm just gonna come out and say it flat out, as if it's true. Kingdom Hearts 1 was the first action game with true air combos. Because DMC didn't get it until DMC 3 with the Swordmaster style.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I guess you're right.
And it's stuff like that where, like, because a lot of people like to talk about, Kingdom Hearts 1 feels dated now compared to, other games that have come out since then, including other games in the Kingdom Hearts series. But it still gave a lot of action games in general the foundation that, everything that we know now was built on.
Mm-hmm.
And people sort of like to paint Kingdom Hearts, especially the first game, as though it is like a bad action game. That's just not the case, and it never has been.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my fucking god. And I'm kind of sick of people acting like it is.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, I can't think of any games, at least and I maybe should do maybe some more research on that, but I could definitely agree with that statement of, yeah, no, it's definitely the first game of its time that actually had true air combos. I mean, and now I also, I think that's what's so interesting, because that's making me think about Smash too. It's like, the series, I think, never intended for, and I know you're gonna hate where this is going, but the term floaty. I think it's really interesting. Now I want to almost kind of like go back and like look at that. And it does in a way feel floaty. But also there are definitely some other elements going on. And I know we're going to get to this whenever we get to 2. Which probably won't take as long as I think. Although I am going to be doing Rechain on Proud, and building a deck is going to be oh so fun, unless we get really, really good-ass RNG and end up just building like a freaking lethal frame deck just to swipe.
Isn't that always the goal? I mean, that's my goal. I'll do it. But...
I mean, here's the funny thing though, is like I ended up doing something completely different when I first played through it, as of like a few years ago, as I did a full mage deck build that was just that
didn't go where I was expecting.
I know, exactly. Isn't that weird? No, it was I can't remember what spell it was or what it was, but all I knew is that it just dealt a crap ton of damage to people. And it was the hardest thing. Because, like, Vexen... Oh, God, fuck Vexen, man. Vexen's fights suck.
I can imagine a full mage build being kind of difficult to work with for Vexen.
Yeah, but anyways, regardless of that, I think it is interesting to kind of go back and like, see, I wish we now had here, let's go over to the game really quick and like test this theory out, and stuff like that was what I was hoping we could do, but alas, COVID, and my parents won't let me go and stream over there, so fun stuff. Anyways, no, I definitely feel like Sora, he did have weight, but he definitely did have a little bit of lag in the air, so to speak, you know, in his hits, or, you know, floatiness to him. As I've gotten older and like being able to like see the combat and the way that, especially the way that the air combos just string. Now when you start adding on air combo pluses, it makes it kind of seem go a little faster, and it's like you're like da 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 da, and you know, you just kind of drop to the ground, and it's like, oh wow, okay, so he's not really that floaty. But like when you're first, I think when you're just base Sora and you don't have any of those you know, those combo plus ons, it's really interesting to see how each strike actually just feels a little, just a slightly slower, but once you start stacking on those combos pluses, it ramps up his speed, which is very interesting to me. At least that's what I took note from you know, playing the game as of, you know, over the last 2 months. So
I think that's true. Yeah, I think it's to do with the extra combo pluses. They have him do hits where the animation comes up faster, especially in the air.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then again, now tying this kind of back into Smash, it's I think Sakurai did do, honestly, I think it's probably like one of the best justices that they've done to a character, and like much like time and dedication and love into recreating a character for, you know, for Smash, that pretty much that they've ever done. Do I think he should have been as light as he should have been in the game? Absolutely not. No, I think he should have been just slightly heavier. Like, did I think he was going to be lighter weight? Absolutely. I didn't think he was going to be, I would have put him like on the low end. I would have put him up at the higher end of lightweights and the lower end of like where, you know, where midweight fighters start coming into play. Like, I feel like he would have been a very like neat, like very in between right there. But the fact of the way that they made him so light, I think, is a disservice to him, and at least to the original game. Now the combos,
it's funny because so much else about the way they did him has so much, like they showed a lot of KH1 love, specifically KH1 love.
They did, which is interesting. So funny that
they made him so light.
Yeah, which is not definitely the case. Now stuff in 2 is, yes, I would say it's definitely flashier. I don't want to say it. I mean, it is sort of floaty-esque, but what's so interesting about 2, and we'll definitely talk this about more, especially while we're playing it, because it's very easy to see the difference between that and 1, is how your hits actually feel in game. And Blue and I have talked about this for years, as like it is definitively, in terms of like how it feels, like what you expect a Keyblade to feel like hitting something like a Heartless or an enemy, is best represented in 2 by far in the entire franchise. And I think it's interesting. They also still, though, tended to carry that over, I think, into Smash. Because the Keyblade hits actually feel really satisfying. And I'm like, damn. Yeah. Like, these, like, I'm hitting this thing with a fucking giant-ass key. This shit better have some fucking weight to it. Because it's so top-heavy.
His ground combo in Smash, it's the KH1 combo.
Yeah,
but it's way faster.
It is way faster, and what's more interesting too is like the tilt attacks too. Since you can just either like, you know, keep pressing it or just hold it forward to keep continuing the combo string. It's more or less the same, but it's also just variations. Because what was so interesting, I think, now kind of going back to 1 had a lot of how shall I put this? Had a lot of variations. Like, once you started adding on like certain like combo ability finishers or combo modifier abilities, a lot of things would change how Sora would end up hitting. Like, he would still do his, like, traditional, like, you know, strikes, and sometimes, if it worked out, it would, you know, swoop in with, like, oh, wow, you, like, it's like, cool, you did your finisher of, like, okay, for instance, like, using Gravity Break, or, sometimes, most of the time, Sliding Dash wouldn't necessarily work if you were, like, only a certain miles away. Other times, if you were way too far away from an enemy and you were still locked on, you would only just do one attack. That's what I found so interesting, is that it definitely played with a lot of the range and how and when Sora would do a certain added ability, like combat ability like that. And that definitely doesn't carry over into 2, because 2 is completely a different animal in its own right. But yeah, that's my thoughts right now. I don't know where I wanted to go from there.
I think, I guess there's a specific point that maybe could be brought up that not a lot of people talk about. That would be the tech system, the tech point system.
Oh yeah, tech point system.
The tech point system is interesting to me because, on the one hand, it's really a system that is only kind of half-hearted and not really fleshed out the way it should be. At the same time, it's at the core of how you should be playing the game.
Yeah, which is so weird,
or
because
at least that's kind of what speedrunning the game and doing just like level 1 and other high challenge levels. That's kind of what it taught me, because a lot of people talk about, and I do agree that you start off way too immobile for it to feel good. I mean, that's just kind of what the older games did in general, and I am glad that the later games corrected that. And, like, you know, by the time, because, like, by the time you get around to, like, Birth by Sleep, you have your guard and your dodge right off the start, and then by Cage 3, you can guard and dodge in midair. But from the start of the game. But,
which is fantastic.
Yeah, but the reason I am kind of okay with, not so much KH2, but with KH1, I'm kind of okay with you being so immobile, because people always, like fighting Riku especially, they're like, man, how am I supposed to deal with this guy's attacks when I have no dodge and no roll? Because you're supposed to parry.
Yeah.
Like, that is the crux of KH1, is you're supposed to parry everything.
Yeah.
Right? Or at least a lot of things.
Yeah. And I think you have to learn that early on, especially with, like, I think a great example is Waka. Like, Waka on the beach. Like, the only way you can hit back his balls at him is if you parry it. And I think that's a great... And now you'll learn, like, through the other fights as well, like, you know, versing Selfie and versing Tidus. But you definitely, I think, learn it from Waka the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a real parry. It's a Devil May Cry parry.
Yes.
Where you have to actually, like, use your sword swing to connect with whatever the thing is, either the projectile or the attack or whatever, so that your weapon actually collides with the thing that you're trying to deflect. Yeah. It's not just hold this combination of buttons to do the thing. It's like, no, you have to actually time it yourself.
Yeah.
And it works well. If you just, you know, take the time to learn and figure out some of those timings.
Yeah. Oh, Kazu also has some stuff in here. I think he was talking about.
Hey, I haven't been looking at chat.
Yeah. My apologies, man. We didn't want to put you on hold there. I believe the last comment.
You could also just get in the. You could also just get in the.
Yeah,
Discord.
if you want to get in the Discord, if you're free, man. Like. Oh, he's saying that's insane. Yeah. Because I believe the last comment, I definitely remember seeing TV ads for Kingdom Hearts and getting super excited for it. Told my mom about it, and I wanted a PS2, and they said, "LOL, no."
They said no.
They said no. But and then of course,
why?
I don't know. It was the time. Who knows? My mom never wanted me to play video games. She thought they were a dementor for the brain. She still thinks they are. But and then when we were talking about Sora and Smash and stuff, but he acquired Peter Pan Flight. He acquired Peter Pan Flight, so that might have maybe factored in, and they took that into play. I mean, yeah, they could have.
Definitely played with that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, he literally soars into the fucking thing. So
yeah. So. Ugh. And
even his picture, even his shot in the picture, the painting of everyone.
Yeah.
It's like floating there, Peter Pan style.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Which is. Yeah, it works, I guess. And his run animation isn't him even running; it's him actually just gliding on the ground. Or I guess it would be effectively super gliding. So, but yeah, yeah. So I think it's a good time to start going back and let's start looking at what he's become a Saiyan. I suppose that's one way of looking at it. Yeah. I think we should start looking at themes and thematics.
Although, were we gonna do the Ansem report reading?
Oh yeah, well, you know what? Yeah, let's do that.
Might be
yeah.
that honestly probably would be the best way to lead into that.
That actually probably would be much better. So yeah, I'll get those up real quick.
Okay, okay. In that case, do your thing and get set up because I'm probably gonna go downstairs. At work, they keep giving us food.
Oh, okay.
I've got, like a bunch of pizzas, so I'm probably gonna go heat one of those up.
No, that's fine. Shouldn't take me.
And we should, you should get some music. We can get music going in the background, right?
I suppose. I could probably do that.
We need to get some thematically appropriate music.
Some lo-fi chill.
Some
lo-fi chill beats. Although my
I was just thinking something from the game for the report reading.
Oh, I could probably find something that would be not copyright infringement.
It's from the game. That music's not copyright.
Oh, oh god, I'm trying to think what would be aesthetically pleasing to that.
And the obvious one that comes to mind. I mean, it doesn't have to be from KH1, but
no, I was thinking. I'm trying to think of.
I mean, you could do End of the World. You could do World That Never Was.
I actually really like, and I really do like fucking dude. World That Never Was is honestly really good.
Yeah. Final World would work. There's a bunch of choices.
Yeah, I can't remember what Final World sounds like. World That Never Was theme. On répète.
Omelette du fromage, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Okay, so while you look into that and get that set up,
yeah, I will do that.
Because I think a lot of the thematic stuff will probably come out of a discussion of what the reports reveal.
No, absolutely. Yeah, see, that's what I was afraid of. Yeah, our frames are dropping like every other frame, so I don't think we're gonna be able to have music, unfortunately. Can't have the internet and stream at the same time. Don't have good enough internet for that, unfortunately. But I will get this all set up. I can actually make this. Okay, I can look at filters, and I can actually I can actually kind of open that threshold, I think, a little bit, so that everything kind of starts coming through. If we keep closing that threshold, we completely close that threshold. I suppose. Yeah. I think I might be able to play some background music on my phone. And we're gonna try and work with that, I think, while I'm reading. Okay. That actually would be nice. I just, at the same time, though, that would still be playing on a YouTube, and then my frames would drop like crazy. So, let me... The world that never was theme. Let me see. Yeah. That's not gonna be... Yeah, see, that's not gonna come through as much as I was hoping, unless I, like, completely, like, dropped, like, noise gate, I think. Um... There's still so much about streaming I still have to learn. I haven't taken the time. I guess I could have been taking the time to do some stuff here, but... Yeah, I just gotta learn something about my filters. Suppression, noise gate. Not exactly sure what that'll do for me. But... Oh well. Unfortunately,
Okay, well,
unfortunately, we won't have music because internet'll be poopy. and everything will just start. Yeah, so.
Wow.
See, this would have been great if we would have
You
just
go.
had the. We would have had the
I'll make the
game
music.
and. Okay. Oh, you're gonna
Boom,
make the
boom,
music?
boom. Oh, bo, 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 bo. Oh, bo, 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 bo.
Don don don.
Oh, it'll just do that the whole time. You go ahead and start.
All right.
Oh, bo, bo. Okay, I'm not gonna do that.
As much as I would love for that to keep continuing, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm actually gonna go ahead and close just my internet browser so we don't have any future frame drop issues if that's be the case. Oof! Oh my goodness. All right.
See, I thought about that too, Javi, but the problem with me playing music in the background is it's probably not going to be heard that well.
No. It will not. That is the most unfortunate. And even if I tried to even play it from my phone, it still wouldn't. How the mic would pick up and register it would not work.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Now you know what I can do maybe for future ones is maybe I can download some. I can just MP3. I can
You got the
MP3.
CDs from the.
I do. I still have the CDs from the World of Tress and the original concert in New York.
I was gonna say if you have a CD player, just play it on there. No, that probably might be copyrighted.
Yeah, that would definitely be copywritten stuff. So definitely not. No, but what I can do, I think, what I can do is I'll get like some extended themes, and what I can do is take them off of using a MP3 converter from YouTube and making MP3s, putting them in basically just like a loop scenario, and then we can have like some fun music, which I think honestly I really just love frickin' Sacred Moon. So we'll probably just use that the entire time for like reading like any type of report stuff, which I think will be really fun. So we'll do that for next time, for the next reflection, which technically there won't really be any secret answer reports in that one, will there?
Recom.
Yeah.
Don't think they're a secret report. There's something. It's not like secret reports or anything like that. It's just like character stuff that maybe it's not gonna be the same. But like, I guess you could like.
We'll get to it when we get to it.
I haven't really ever looked at that stuff, so maybe there's like some revealing details in there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyways, so as we're gonna start off with Ansem report number 1. We're gonna just work our way through, and I don't know if we'll either stop in between, or we're gonna I think we should just read through them all first, and then we'll start going back and like decrypting some stuff. And then we'll be getting into like theme and some other stuff that'll come up. So, anyways, here is.
Before you go ahead and start.
No, that's fine.
Do you want to read all of them, or do you want to like break them up like half and half?
That's what I was.
That way you're not reading so much.
That actually also would probably be a good idea because my voice does kind of need a rest because it is getting a little dry and I could use some water at some point. But
did you have water already?
I don't have water on me right now.
Hold on, give me a second to boot up. Yeah, have Mama T bring you some water.
Yeah.
Have her sit down.
Yeah. Hey, Mom. Hello. Is it possible I could have some water? Ugh.
Oh, So give me a second to.
No, yeah, you're fine. Are you gonna also read? We could actually read off, like we
That's
could
what I'm
switch
saying,
off. Yeah,
yeah. I'm saying
yeah.
alternate.
That sounds
That's what I
like
was
that
saying.
sounds great. I love that idea.
So I'm just booting up the game so that I don't have to like look it up
Oh
on
no, you're fine. You're totally fine.
Google. Actually, I do still have my file, right?
How much do you need? One. A day or two. LOL. I love your mom. Oh, thank you. All right. Yeah. This is definitely interesting. I think what we'll end up doing is I think for the next one we'll actually, I mean, each one is going to be probably slightly different depending on, what game we're going to be playing. So um what will be interesting, I think, is um we'll have like a set thing that we'll probably like a small list that I'll probably put together at the end of this one after, I'll probably end up rewatching this, and then we'll probably just go through what we went through and just kind of write down like a small like rough draft of like, the what's the word I'm looking for?
Structure?
Yeah, the structure, yeah. Structure of how we'll go about going through these reflections. So, anyways, you ready?
Yeah, if you want to go ahead and start, you can go ahead and
All right,
start.
sweet. And I will do. So, we begin with Ansem report number 1. Much of my life has been dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge. That knowledge has guarded this world well. Not a soul doubts that. I am blessed with people's smiles and respect. But though I am called a sage, there are things I do not understand. I believe darkness sleeps in every heart, no matter how pure. Given the chance, the smallest drop can spread and swallow the heart. I have witnessed it many times. Darkness, darkness of the heart, how is it born? How does it come to affect us so? As ruler of this world, I must find the answers. I must find them before the world is lost to those taken by the darkness.
Ooh. That was quick. Okay, I just got it up.
Oh, that's fine.
Excuse me, I haven't done this in quite some time. It is my duty to expose what this darkness really is. I shall conduct the following experiments. Extract the darkness from a person's heart. Cultivate darkness in a pure heart. Both suppress and amplify the darkness within. The experiments caused the test subjects' hearts to collapse, including those of the most stalwart. How fragile our hearts are. My treatments produced no signs of recovery. I confined those who had completely lost their hearts beneath the castle. Sometime later, I went below and was greeted by the strangest sight. Creatures that seemed born of darkness. What are they? Are they truly sentient beings? Could they be the shadows of those who lost their hearts in my experiments?
The shadows that crawl beneath the castle. Are they the people who lost their hearts, or incarnations of darkness, or something entirely beyond my imagination? All of my knowledge has provided no answer. One thing I am sure of is that they are entirely devoid of emotion. Perhaps further study will unlock the mysteries of the heart. Fortunately, there is no shortage of test samples. They are multiplying underground even as I write this report. They still need a name. Those who lack hearts. I will call them the Heartless.
Heartless appear in groups and are multiplying rapidly. I provided them both living and non-living samples. They responded only to the living. They seem to multiply after absorbing something from the living creatures. The prey vanishes without a trace. I believe the Heartless are taking hearts. They are born from those who've lost their hearts, and thrive on hearts seized from others. Taken by the Heartless become heartless themselves. Though I lack proof, I am confident in this hypothesis. I must also study their behavioral principles. Though they lack emotions, they do seem to have some intelligence. How to communicate with them? It's just occurred to me. Could they be the darkness in people's hearts?
To study the Heartless behavior, I picked one out for observation. It wiggled its antennae, and, as if sensing a target, headed deep into the castle, in the deepest part of the castle. Its antennae began vibrating, as if searching for something. Suddenly, a strange door appeared. I'd never known of its existence. It had a large keyhole, but it didn't seem to be locked. So I opened the door. What I saw on the other side mystified me. What was this powerful mass of energy? That night I observed a great meteor shower in the sky. Could it be related to the door that I have opened?
Massive core of energy lay beyond the door sought by the Heartless. It may well be the ultimate goal of all Heartless. But what is that energy? I have devised a hypothesis based upon my observations of the Heartless. The Heartless feed on others' heart, and they yearn for that energy core. That thing beyond the door must be a heart, too. The heart of this world. There is no proof, but having felt that immense energy, I am certain that that was the heart of the world. The Heartless are trying to take hearts not only from all living creatures, but from the world itself. But what do they mean to do with the heart of the world?
I am studying material from the meteors that rained down that fateful night. What a find! The material is foreign to our world. It is elastic to the touch, and when two pieces are combined, they bond easily. None of the records have even mentioned such a substance. Was it introduced into this world when I opened the door? I wonder how many other such materials drift through the atmosphere of this tiny world. I wish I could soar off and find out. Could there be uncharted worlds up there? My curiosity never ceases to grow, but I should stop speaking of such unrealistic dreams. For now, there is no way to venture outside this world. My people and I are all but prisoners of this tiny place.
There is no doubt that the Heartless are deeply connected to people's hearts. Further study may unravel both their motivations and the mysteries shrouding the heart. As a start, I have built a device that artificially creates Heartless. By recreating the conditions that spawn the Heartless naturally, should be able to produce them artificially. This device is a culmination of all my research thus far. The machine's test run successfully created a Heartless. This may be a step toward creating a heart from nothing. The artificially and naturally created Heartless showed nearly identical traits, but the two types should remain distinct for the purposes of this experiment, so I will mark the ones that are created artificially.
Simply astonishing. Today I had a guest from another world. He is a king, and his vessel is built of the material that composed the meteors. He called the pieces gummy blocks. It seems that my opening the door has opened a path to the interworld travel. We talked for countless hours, but one story in particular caught my interest. That of a key called the Keyblade. The Keyblade is said to hold phenomenal power. One legend says its wielder saved the world, while another says that he wrought chaos and ruin upon it. I must know what this Keyblade is. A key opens doors. It must be connected to the door I have opened.
Just as people have hearts, so do worlds. Same can be said of the stars in the night sky. And deep within each world lies a door to its heart. The heartless desire those hearts. Born out of the darkness in people's hearts, they seek to return to a greater heart. Yes, that's it. The heartless come from people's hearts, as does the darkness. Is the core of the world's heart the world of the heartless? I will pursue the answer there, and become all-knowing. My path is set. I shall seek out the wielder of the Keyblade, and the princesses. My body is too frail for such a journey, but I must do this. I will cast it off, and plunge into the depths of darkness.
Opening the door to the world's heart causes its walls to crumble. These fragments are seen as shooting stars. This explains why these gummy blocks can travel freely to other worlds. I know the catalyst of the collapse, the appearance of the Heartless. However, it will take time to search out the world's doors and to retrieve each heart. Furthermore, the doors can be locked using a Keyblade, making the heart forever unattainable. I must take action before the wielder of this key appears in this world. If the princesses and the Keyblade are connected, they should resonate. I have chosen a girl. I don't know if she holds the princess's power, but I will find out. She may lead me to the keybearer. I shall set her free and observe.
Body is gone. The heart should have returned to the heartless, yet nothing. This one is unlike any other. Its memories remain, and yet it has yet to take the form of a heartless. A close eye must be kept on the situation. Much is still unknown. Darkness, one must go through the doors of Kingdom Hearts, the place where the world's hearts connect. Beyond this world is a place in which darkness reigns. Details shall be archived in a separate report. There are many worlds in existence, some of which we know nothing about. The world in which we live, the realm of darkness, the realm of light, and the world in between, wherein lies true nirvana.
Where does the body go when it separates from the heart? If the soul remains within the body, is it still considered to be deceased? When the heart returns to the heartless, the physical form disappears. But that is merely true in this world. Perhaps the body exists in another form in another world. If that is the case, then is it possible for one to exist in two worlds? A being that is neither dark nor light, belonging nowhere, abandoned by its heart, a mere shell of its former self. The relation between the heart and the body is complex. However, I am certain that if your self exists here, then by definition, the other truly cannot exist. The other, the one which does not exist, shall be dubbed nobody. So, some really intense stuff. But what's so interesting, it's so subtle, and most people don't really probably would think as like when you're first reading them. But actually, at one point, the reports are being reported by somebody else. And there are actually two people in these reports. And there's actually a very clear distinction of when that shift occurs. And I'll tell you. It happens right in number 10.
Well, actually, I guess depending on how you... Well, I guess it depends on... So what exactly do you mean?
Because I know, I definitely feel like Ansem Report 10 through 13 is actually Ansem Seeker of Darkness.
Actually, Ansem Reports 2 through 13 are Ansem Seeker of Darkness.
Really?
Only Ansem Report 1 is written by Ansem the Wise. All the rest are written by Ansem Seeker of Darkness. But this is why I asked the question, because you are still correct in a way, I think. Because what I think... So, it's like these reports are being written by 3 people, actually.
Yeah, I guess so.
One is Ansem Wise.
Yes.
He wrote only Report 1, which was actually report... I mentioned this in Cage, too. Secret Reports. It's actually originally dubbed Report 0. It's confusing for no reason. It should be, like, in this game, it should be labeled Report 0 through 12, not 1 through 13, but whatever.
Yeah.
So that very first report was written by Ansem the Wise. All the rest were written by Ansem Seeker of Darkness, but... You look at 10 real quick.
Yeah, 10 is very weird, because it kind of just goes off on a weird tangent there.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, so you are right. It's like, I think what's happening is, midway through, as Ansem Seeker of Darkness does more of this research, he falls further into the idea of darkness being kind of the source of everything, darkness being essentially the core of the universe and the way the universe functions in his mind. As he delves deeper into that rabbit hole, I think it's like he's peeling back more and more of the layers of Apprentice Xehanort. It's like he kind of starts to remember, true Xehanort.
Yeah.
As he actually was. Peeling back the layers of this other identity that came. So, this was actually all, of course, before he actually became Ansem Seeker of Darkness, because all of this was before he actually split himself.
Yeah.
So, effectively, like, yeah, we see, and again, they hadn't thought this far ahead in this, but effectively, he wrote these reports is actually Apprentice Xehanort.
Yeah, it's Apprentice Xehanort.
And by the time he reaches the end of it, that's probably right before he splits himself into Heartless and Nobody. So it's Xehanort taking over Terra's body, and Apprentice Xehanort kind of like became a new personality of sorts. And he just like I say, as he started doing more of this research, I think he kind of remembered more of his true self, maybe, and then split. Killed everyone else and split himself.
Yeah.
And that's how we got what we got.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're not wrong. It's just there's like an extra layer there, I think.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, because like especially like, I mean, 10 is just stand out-ish amongst like the entirety of the thing. That's just like, wow, that's like such a huge tone shift, like just like out of nowhere, and now we're like talking about some really interesting hypothetical stuff, which is funny because you would think that Ansem the Wise was actually, because like, I mean, when I first went through the games, like I originally thought it's like, oh, Ansem the Wise like met with King Mickey, and then when we found out, like we saw the flashback in KH2 of that meeting, and also in Birth by Sleep as well,
right.
Or at least we didn't see the actual meeting, but like the after effects of that meeting, and Mickey meeting everybody.
Yeah,
it is very interesting to think. What's interesting is all the test subjects stuff like that he starts doing in what is it? Yeah, and number 2, it's like we already know who those people are. Or at least the people who are starting to submit themselves for it.
In the ones who they turned into Heartless?
Yeah.
Oh, who are there?
Well, yeah, the people, yeah, because he was saying the test subjects' hearts to collapse, including those most stalwart. So, I'm sure some of them were eventually would become like Lee, Isa, Dylan, Alias, Zexion, or sorry. Oh God, what's his name?
Lexius?
Not Lexi. No.
Olin?
No. Those are their, I'm talking about their somebody names. Like those are the people who probably ended up going and being like certain test subjects at one
Dylan,
point.
Alias, Ienzo.
Yeah, Ienzo. That's it. Ienzo. Evan. All that good stuff. Yeah. The weird thing is, like, we still have no idea who the fuck. We still don't know who fucking Demix is.
Or Luxord. Just because we suspect we know where he came from doesn't mean we really know who he is.
Yeah, we don't know who he is. So
but I thought this was just talking about random people.
Yeah.
Became Heartless, because he doesn't talk about he doesn't talk about the whole nobody thing until the very last one.
I suppose that's fair.
I would think if that started happening more often.
Yeah, he probably would have said something then beforehand.
Actually, hold the fuck up.
Ooh, do I get your wheels spinning?
It separates from the heart. Considered to be deceased. What made him start thinking about this?
Yeah.
But this had to have been a particular experiment.
Yeah.
The heart returns to the heartless, the physical form disappears, but that is merely true in this world. Perhaps the body exists in another. He had to have seen this.
Oh yeah, he had to have seen it. Absolutely.
But turning himself, splitting himself into and splitting the others into was very deliberate and intentional. I don't think he got pissed off because Ienzo didn't make his coffee hot enough or something. And he decided to just kill everyone.
And go on a fucking bloodthirsty rampage.
Right, exactly. I think this was like a very this was like a very him turning himself and everyone else was a very deliberate thing.
Yeah, because I think at that point
at that point he
At
was
that
already.
point, he knew what it was, and he was.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
yeah, because he
what was doing.
knew who he was and what he was doing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So he had to have seen this somewhere. He had to have seen someone turn into a nobody somewhere. So, and now anyone who knows me well knows that I'm not a theory crafter, especially when it comes to Kingdom Hearts.
yeah,
But what if the first person he saw? I don't have any evidence for this. This is just me throwing out a possibility. I don't have like anything to back this up. Again, which is why I don't theory craft. But what if the first person he saw turn into a nobody was actually Subject X?
yeah. I mean, probably, and we still don't know technically who Subject X is. We have a lot of fucking ideas of who it might be, but also we could be completely wrong.
To suggest that might actually be the case. I mean,
Yeah.
because the one report did say with black hair, so
Yeah, so it's like, oh well, shit. It's probably Scald.
But that then begs the question: what caused her change?
Yeah.
Doing nobody, was it an intentional thing, or like what caused her heart to split? Was it an intentional thing? Was it something else? He had to have seen this somewhere for him to start wondering about this, because again, him turning himself and the other 5 was very deliberate.
It was, and then the other ones I think were just follow suit of just like, hey, we're offering ourselves up for, for this test and whatever. But I don't think they knew what they were getting themselves into until they actually got there. So, no, but wanted to make a quick, just like sidebar. Nah, man, that man didn't have his coffee made correctly and he needed to wreak havoc. These fools today, they shall know the meaning of darkness. No one will mess up a macchiato ever again. That's pretty funny. And I could totally imagine that. Someone doing like a freaking cartoon of that shit. That would be hilarious.
This coffee was supposed to be black!
God
Darker than my heart!
Oh, man. Yeah, that would be funny. Yeah, I think the real interesting thing, too, is like... Because we know now if we're going back in time, like way back in time, how since Daybreak Town turned into Scala, the real interesting thing is going to be knowing how Elrain, Lumeria, and
Laurium.
Laurium. Yeah, Elrain, Laurium, and Roxas, Ventus, ended up getting to. Well, I guess. Well, Ventus, we don't know where he went, but like how Laurium and Elrain ended up getting to Radiant Garden. That is going to be the more interesting storyline to figure out how that happened. Because since they weren't technically originally a part of the crew, because they were numbers. Marluxia was.
Marluxia's number. Is he Larxene is 12?
Yeah,
Marluxia's 10.
Yeah, 10, and then 11 is Demix.
Luxord.
Oh, 11 is Luxord. Demix is 9? 9, yeah. So literally from 9 on, those are basically the original people. Those are the people who we like literally know least about. And so knowing where they're going to be coming from is going to be interesting.
Because Laurium ended up in like Dwarf Woodlands, and Elrino ended up in Enchanted Dominion.
Yeah, that's right.
How they got
Yeah.
From there to
the Radiant Garden will be very interesting to figure out or find out, I suppose.
I mean, if nothing else, we could say, well, Elrina maybe because of Maleficent. Laurium, we have no fucking clue.
Yeah, I suppose.
Who
knows?
I think I had some thoughts when I was reading through this before.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that it starts out, and I think this does kind of refer back to the shift you were talking about. Because it starts out with just trying to understand the heart,
Yeah.
which leads to the discovery of the heartless, which leads then to a fascination with the heartless themselves.
Yeah.
Revelation that, okay, the heartless are born from other people's hearts.
Yeah.
They feast on other people's hearts. And that not only are they after people's hearts, they're after the hearts of the world, which, again, speaks kind of to the nature of the setting, the idea that everything existence
Yeah.
has a heart.
Yeah, it has a heart, or, in this case, a soul, at least, or equivalent.
Right, which is... Oh, right, but the soul is separate, but yeah, it has both. Which I guess speaks to the nature of it's one of those things you have to wrap your head around if you aren't already familiar with the series. We're not effectively when they say heart in Kingdom Hearts, they are effectively talking about what we in real life would consider the soul.
Yeah. That's what I meant by
It's kind of
that.
like your essence, your being. It's not your literal physical beating heart, although because these are humans, at least a lot of them, they also have to have a physically beating heart. And we have seen physically beating hearts in the setting.
Yeah, yes, we have.
Oh,
In very high cartoonish fashion, and as well.
yeah, so... And in photorealistic CG
Yeah.
as well. So... it's just, this important setting building going on there that most people miss, because I think most people probably don't read this stuff. But,
No.
The other thing is, I think what these reports do really well is they just speak. They do a really good job of characterizing Ansem SOD.
Mm-hmm.
Because I still find, and I shouldn't find it funny. If I'm taking the setting seriously, I shouldn't find it funny. But it's just, I still find the idea of it hysterical that Ansem is just like, I found a girl. I don't know if she has what I'm looking for, but fuck it. Fuck her life. I'm just gonna try it. I'm gonna launch her into space.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna see what happens.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna see if she'll get me the result that I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's like so crazy to like think about. It's like, also it's like, one, how and when did he capture Kyrie? Two, how did he fucking get away from her?
In Melody of Memory.
Huh?
You see that in Melody of
Oh
Memory.
yeah, I guess, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right at the end.
Because like presumably around the time that he's really going full on ham with his research, it's probably a bit before he's turned himself. Yeah, because he hasn't turned himself into a heartless to nobody yet. And so I guess that everyone else is also still
themselves as well.
Somebody's, yeah.
The real interesting
but
thing,
he kind of just like started unleashing Heartless on Radiant Garden, it seems like.
Yeah.
They entrapped Kyrie because Kyrie's constantly out without adult supervision. Grandma's probably like tending to the garden or something, or maybe looking at old scrapbooks.
What if they killed the grandma?
Of the Grandma been dead.
Yeah, Grandma.
Or maybe not. Maybe Grandma's like some cosmic being. People always joke about, Kyrie's grandma's important. Maybe she's actually maybe Kyrie's grandma is Master of Masters. Who knows, man?
Yeah, and everyone will still to this day say that also either fucking Demix is the Master of Masters. I'm just like, no, man.
Or Sora.
Sora is actually the Master of Masters. I would be
wouldn't necessarily be surprised if that happened, but
that would be such a fucking cop out. And I'd be really upset.
I kind of want Master of Masters to not even be a person at all. I think I've heard someone else say
Yeah, I would rather it just be like an entity.
Yeah, Master of Masters takes his he takes the hood down, right?
Yeah.
And it's just he's just like literally like a beast. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just like a bunch of eyes on a mass of flesh or something.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be nice.
I don't know, something stupid like that. There's no reason for that in particular. There's probably something more thematically appropriate you could come up with.
Yeah, probably.
Something not human is the point that I'm making, right?
Mm-hmm. It's okay. All I really hope and pray for is that Square Enix will be really smart, and they will that Demix's actual, like, somebody name will be Dime. And that's all I care about. That's all I care about, man. Because we need the adventures of Dime and
No.
Anyway, we'll get to that later.
If we had anyone that could like if we knew anyone that could draw, like I would not have an issue. Like we have recording equipment, we could do it.
Yeah, no, we could.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the reports do a good job of characterizing Ansem.
They
which
do.
is important because he appears at the very beginning of the game for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Then comes back at the end, and you don't have any other context.
Yeah.
Like really who or what he is. Other than that, he was a great man. He like ran the world that the Final Fantasy characters are from, and something happened where he became a bad guy. Like that's all you know.
Yeah.
I think the reports really do a good job of characterizing and showing what led him to do what he does.
Yeah. So what I think what's interesting is like, yeah, again, like 10 is such a like an interesting report, and it has so much stuff that's going on in it. I'm wondering if at that point he had decided, because it says, you know, like right at the end, he's like, my body is too frail for such a journey, but I must do this. I will cast it off and plunge into the depths of darkness. I feel like at that point, like, I don't know, because like, and then you go down to like 12 and 13, and it's like, oh yeah, like you know, all this like the darkening and you know that's all, it's the world between and whatnot, and all that. But like it's weird. It's like either I think it's he's planning to do it, that he's going to, or it's like after he's written this report, it's like I'm gonna go and fucking do this like right now. Like that's what I'm having a hard time of like trying to figure out.
He probably didn't really have the means yet.
Probably.
Right then and there.
Probably.
He certainly went about, getting plans so that he could start working towards it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like he didn't have a goal until 10.
Yeah, I think that's true.
I'm saying it's like he was just doing research for the sake of the research first.
Yeah.
Which I mean, it's like the idea, I guess, of this is gonna sound really dumb, but I think Destiny pulled him to it.
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, it's like Destiny pulled Xehanort towards the goal that Xehanort was supposed to
go.
do,
Yeah, which I think again, like, and again, in some of the language I think even used also like kind of tips that of like him kind of falling back into Old Man Xehanort's like thinking patterns, like especially where was it? Where is it? Yeah, number 7. Like immediately, like super red flag. I was like, he's like, my people and I are all but prisoners of this tiny place. Like that's like instant realization of back to when, you know, Xehanort was on, you know, Destiny Islands. But what's so interesting is the fact that we know that Xehanort grew up in Scala along with Ericus. So how he ended up being isolated, and again, Dark Road still hasn't finished yet. So we still don't know how he ended up getting to there, but we know that that's where he's gonna end up, and that he's gonna be like, I need to get off this place, like I need to get out of here, like I know that there are other worlds, like You know, so that's it's going to be interesting to figure out what triggered that to make him go on that journey and make him start questioning those things.
Just like, I think it's just like he started out his life on Destiny Islands. Real question is, I can't remember if we saw this in Dark Road or not now. I have to, it's been so long since I've looked at Dark Road, so I have to go back and view it. But he got from Destiny Islands to Scala.
Yeah.
And everything kind of ventured from there. I mean, we know the thing that set him on his path was basically the death of the other four.
Yeah.
Erd, Bragi, Ver, and Ermod.
Yeah. Which, man, those characters look awesome.
Great designs, really great designs. Yeah, it's ultimately, I think it's Destiny. I think, that's the big thing, is like you can see the shift happening.
Yeah.
And the shift is basically, I think, it's just Destiny's full.
It is, and it definitely is. I think that's what's so interesting about like these report collections is that they really do themselves tell a story, and more set just to the mindset of like what's going on with everything. And it's a shame that we never get to hear from, and I know this isn't the secret Ansem reports are actually Ansem the Wise, correct?
Right.
Yeah, that's what, so we won't get to those until 2, unfortunately. Yeah. But when we do, we can pair it off with basically starting to read from Ansem Report 1 and then going on forward, which I think will be really interesting, and we'll get like some nice narrative perspective going from that to those and following those in like cohesive order. I think those will be really, really good. But yeah, it's very, very interesting stuff. So themes. Obviously, we're talking about yeah. From the realm of in between, yeah. So it is definitely very interesting. You know, how he's, you know, darkness is definitely a big theme. Of like how it can corrupt and how it can pull people and stuff like that. I think that's probably like the biggest theme.
Probably the theme, yeah.
The biggest theme, at least I think, in 1. Whereas in like Rechain is like dealing with obviously you're dealing with like, what about your memories? Like, where do they store? Is it something that you can mentally grasp onto, or is it bonded to, you know, like your heart or your soul and, you know, stuff like that. And then, you know, 2 talks about, you know, like the coalition of like the body and like what it represents and what it can maintain, and does it have a will of its own, you know? It's very interesting and deep shit that we're going to be getting into later on. But going back to 1 definitely is about like how darkness affects the heart. What does it do to people? What can it do to people? And we definitely see that throughout the game, I think. So
I think it's interesting about the way it presents the theme. Well, you know, the presentation of the theme, it's all over the fucking game. I mean, like the symbolism, at least. Like,
oh yeah,
obviously, darkness in KH1, actually darkness in Kingdom Hearts in general, but especially in KH1, is primarily represented with water.
That, huh?
Like, if you look at the intro, I mean, here. Yeah, we don't have a thing that we can like go through frame by. Can you do the whole screen share thing?
I mean, I can do screen share.
I was gonna say if we could go through the intro, because I feel like you haven't even talked about the intro.
I mean, again, the intro, it's if we
just mute it.
Regardless of that, it's gonna still like it's gonna drop frames like crazy.
Oh, drop frames. I thought you meant copyright stuff.
No, yeah. I'm not worried about copyrights. I'm just worried about frames. Because it will just slow down.
Right. Well, like, the main thing is that, like, I mean, and you can even see, I mean, even if you just think about the idea that, like, the rising falls in Hollow Bastion, at that point in time, Hollow Bastion, you know, is like the epitome of a place that is filled with darkness.
Yeah.
It's very appropriate that it's filled with nothing. It's just this castle just surrounded by water.
Yeah.
I mean, even the idea that Destiny Islands, you know, this little strip of land surrounded by water. The world at this time is being, you know, or not the world, I should say the universe, right? The galaxy at least. At this time is being consumed by darkness, right? It's all it's like it's easy to like draw parallels there, and you know, if you look at the intro, the entire intro is just Riku ending in a body of water, about to be completely engulfed in a tidal wave, holding his hand out to Sora, asking him to come with him on this journey to explore the darkness. And then Sora gets swept up under it, and he's not, you know, Riku is completely calm and embracing it, but Sora is doing his best to fight against it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, at least as far as the symbolism, that's like the obvious thing. Now, what exactly the game is saying about it and how it explores it, I mean, the obvious thing is like, I mean, again, Riku is like, it's really good that they did what they did, and I think a lot of this credit, I don't know who came up with what as far as the concept, because the concept changed so many times. You know, it started out Disney wanted Mickey to be the protagonist, and Square wanted Donald to be, or I think it may have been the other way around. Like Square wanted Mickey to be the protagonist, Disney wanted Donald to be the protagonist, and Nomura wanted a lion to be the protagonist.
Yeah, a lion. A lion boy.
But, a lion
with a
boy.
chainsaw sword.
With a chainsaw, all right. And Square was like, no, we just came out with FF9. He already had a protagonist that was a lion boy. He's like,
I can at least show, because if you haven't seen this, like you kind of have to. OG Sora design.